Last month I asked you which do you prefer, the Mario series or the Zelda series on a whole, and a lot of people told me that I was very evil for picking this question, and I kind of agree, but at the same time, I think you guys liked it a lot because we have the most submissions we've ever had for a community video since the beginning of doing these videos. I'm not going to do the whole elaboration thing where I elaborate on every single answer. I feel like there's no point to doing that, especially since we have upwards of 50 submissions this time. I think my throat and my voice would never forgive me. So let's just do it and see what happens, and let's just have a bit of fun. Ghidorah. Zelda definitely. That series has done so much for me throughout the years. It's a big part of why I love Nintendo in general. Mario is good, but even if it's what got me into gaming in the first place, it just didn't stay with me the way playing the Zelda series has. I think we can all relate to that. We all will have those games that really sparked our love of video games. But not always the video games that stay with us. For me, it's probably Crash Bandicoot and Spyro are the games that got me into it. Even though I still love them, it was like Final Fantasy that was the game that got me, Final Fantasy X, that made me love video games. That and Tekken 4. I was like, this is what video games can do. I'm here forever. Connor John. Zelda definitely. I like going on an adventure and it makes me feel more special. Really good answer. Again, it's simple, but it's a really good answer because it's the truth. I feels like you're going on an adventure every single Zelda game. There's always some feeling of progression for me as well, personally, as I'm playing those games, because it always feels like I'm doing something. And every single little milestone in the game, whether it be picking up a small key or picking up an item, it always feels like you're doing something, or at least accomplishing something. And I really do love that about Zelda too. Hufflepuff of Time. Though the Mario series is more nostalgic, I absolutely love the Zelda series. It has such a beautiful lore woven into each game and the characters with new and different personalities to love. Not to mention the wonderful puzzles, graphics, and the absolutely genius music. I don't think I can disagree with anything that was said there. Again, a lot of this is going to be me agreeing with a lot of the points. Maybe not on the Mario side because I haven't played all the Mario games, but with the Zelda series, yes. I find the first time going through my first ever Zelda game, I found the puzzles a little bit difficult for myself, but as time went on, they just became more and more fun. And yeah, the art style in the game is pretty freaking gorgeous. It's hard to find a Zelda game with bad music. I don't think there is one. I actually do. I'm going to say right now, I don't think there is one. I think people are going to be like, well, what about the CDI games? I think the music in those games is probably still good too. We're going to do a whole thing where we listen to it one day. 2,000 subs? With no videos? Question mark. Okay. The Super Mario series beats Zelda by itself, in my opinion. Yeah, well, you can feel that way for sure. That's, again, I haven't played the entire Mario series, because I think there are more Mario games than Zelda games, right, on a whole, but the only series I played is Paper Mario, and, those games alone can, stand up to me beside a lot of the Zelda games as well. Unofficial does things. Zelda, definitely. I love the characters and the overall story. Characters are always on point in Zelda. I feel like there's some games where they're weaker than most, but then there's always at least one character that you can really latch onto. People talk about Phantom Hourglass as being the weakest of the Zelda series, and while I would agree it's my least favorite Zelda game, I think that the characters aren't my least favorite for sure, because Linebeck, I still don't know how to pronounce his name, top tier character, with motivations that change as the story goes on, and it's really easy to understand who he is. Thackeray Scroggins. Zelda, hands down. It's always been more engaging to me and more fun. Now Mario is a great series, but Zelda just has a certain charm you don't get with Mario. Also, Zelda has a better story that beats story beats, while Mario goes for more gameplay types. I think that's a really good point, and I think you can argue that the Paper Mario series has stories to me that are on level. Super Paper Mario to me was a really interesting story, and while it wasn't the most in-depth, deep emotional story, I feel like it resonated with me personally, and I can't speak for everyone else, but to me it was emotionally impactful. But the Zelda games do, especially Skyward Sword, man. I can play that game and I hear a piece of music and I remember that exact scene that I was in, or multiple scenes that I was in, and I just get taken back to that story almost instantly. Only Sage. By the way, if you hear me taking a breath or something, I don't really do much edits in these videos in terms of unless I edit the audio and stuff and the video and stuff, but I don't really cut out a lot of it. I like to just do it in one take. So yeah, Only Sage. I definitely go with The Legend of Zelda, even though I like Mario and played a lot more in my childhood. Zelda has always been a huge part of me, and I choose it over any game series, to be honest. Do I even need to explain why? They're all together masterpieces. I've loved every single one of them I played so far. I'm gonna be telling you guys what my favorite one of the two is at the end of this video. So, but I will say that like when it comes to like Zelda, like again, it was never really a part of my childhood, or never really a big part of me growing up. It's become a part of me. I feel like I can definitely say that I've left myself as well in the Zelda series. But yeah, I do think that there's a lot of Zelda games are masterpieces. I think like I would call. I'll save that for another time, but I would call a few of them masterpieces for sure. GeekoVision, definitely Mario. As much as I love the Zelda series, the Mario series has a vast number of genres covered and games out there on the market. Comparatively to the Zelda series, there's more to offer, and as a platforming nut, his offerings are quite enticing. Well, that's the thing. I think that's like why this question is so much fun to me, because it can boil down to the fact that like one game is a platformer for the most part, and the other game series is an action adventure game, or like for the most part as well. And in fact, I think for like the whole game series, really, like you can say like even the multiplayer games are very much action adventure at the same time. But yeah, I think you can boil that to down to that as well. It doesn't always have to be, well, I like this or I like that or like that. It's like one of these genres is better to me and I love it more. It makes perfect sense. Byleth, definitely. I'm so honored to have Byleth out of freaking what's that game called? Mario Party? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Fire Emblem. Commenting on my videos. Definitely Zelda series, because it's one of my favorite series of all time. Although I enjoy Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 and Odyssey, I've enjoyed more Zelda games like Twilight Princess, etc. Yeah, exactly. Again, we're going to see a lot of this as well. It can come down to the point that like you just like a few more of these games than the other games, or you resonate more with them. It's all opinion, and it's all freaking valid, guys. Dylan Singwald. What the heck with the hard decisions and stuff? Definitely Zelda. I love that the comment is like, what the heck with the hard decisions and stuff? Full stop. Zelda. that's brilliant. I love it. Javier Milan. This kind of hard to me, since I played a lot of each of these games in the series, or each of these series, since they both do a very good job in having a lot of content for the players to mess around in. However, if I had to pick one, it had to be the Mario series. Very interesting. Not only that it has an amazing backlog of 2D and 3D platforms, it does. And if it's not your thing, there are many other types of genres in the series as well. Yeah, there's strategy games, there's, RPGs. As for me, I'm a simple person, so I'm not heavily on story in games. So if you want something with a simple premise to it, but awesome gameplay, then Mario has got you covered, for sure. But if you want a good story that does have Mario in it, then the Mario RPG games is the place to go. I would even say the Paper Mario RPGs for sure. P.S. I'm looking forward to the day you start your Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door series. It's a great game with a great story, and I'm sure you will enjoy it. And also, I'm looking forward to seeing your reaction to one of my favorite party members in the game. She is awesome. Well, that could be happening at some point sooner rather than later. I have it now. I have a copy of it. What happened was I had to download an emulator for it. I mean, I didn't at all. I dumped the files from a copy of it that cost like €90 for sure. Like, if Nintendo sold me Thousand Year Door on the Switch, I would buy it tomorrow. Nintendo, come on. I will buy it. I will delete my ROM file and I will buy it off you. Please, just give it to me. Coda Reeves, Zelda. Shocking, right? Well, that's the thing. I think my channel was kind of built on Zelda. It was really built on Zelda, and I think that like it's now a mix of Zelda and Mario. So like you never know what people, because there's some people on this list that I recognize the names of that I would have picked Zelda, but clearly have been going for Mario in some cases as well. Jaden Kaiser. I'm gonna say Kaiser. Zelda, I love it. And you know what's sad? He has 2,000 subs, but he only gets 1 or 2 views per vid. Like really, people, if you're gonna sub, watch the vids. Okay, I didn't expect this comment, but let's talk about it right now. Views don't really correlate to how many subscribers you have, because a lot of people can click on a video and subscribe for different reasons. Like my first 300 subscribers I got were from the Quartz Party series I did, which was a horror game. The first 500 then after that was like, I think was probably like Ocarina of Time mixed with like Twilight Princess and Wind Waker and stuff like that. And then after that, up to that was Breath of the Wild. What got me to 1,000 then was like, if you think of it as Super Paper Mario. After that, I was playing games like Kirby. I played like Amnesia. Like I played a whole host of different games. But at the same time, Let's Play channels, and I'm not mad, by the way, for anyone saying this is actually a really good comment and an interesting comment as well. Percentage-wise, my channel's doing fine. Do not worry about it whatsoever. Compared to other Let's Play channels, this is like the amount of like views you kind of have to expect off of any series or any channel, because you never get 100% of your viewership. You never even get up to 50% of your entire viewership on a video view when it comes to your YouTube channel. So don't worry, it's doing fine. In fact, it's doing more than fine. The channel is doing better than it ever has in terms of every single metric, and that's all thanks to everyone watching this. So please do not worry about that whatsoever. I do not mind whatsoever people watching or not watching. In fact, percentage-wise, the channel is doing better than I thought it would be at this point, especially during the quarantine. I think things are dipping. TV is dipping, apparently. Like some like live television is dipping, I should say. Joder or man, this is such a hard question. I like it. Let's go through the gameplay story and end off on music. Okay, we're doing a full thing here. Gameplay. Mario has a ton of variety and almost always pulls it off seamlessly. It can get sometimes a bit janky to control. Looking at you, Sunshine, but I'll give this one to Mario. Story. I have to give this one to Zelda. Not saying Mario doesn't have good stories in the mainline games. He has Galaxy 1, and since we're talking about the franchises as a whole, we need to consider the spin-off Mario games too, like Mario and Luigi, not counting Paper Jam. The first three Paper Mario games and the Luigi's Mansion games. Is that a Mario game? I suppose it's in the Mario ethos. It's like in the universe, the Mario cinematic universe. The story is simple here, but I love seeing King Boo turning more and more into a psychopath with each game. If we were just talking about the mainline games, Zelda would win with no contest, with games like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, and many others. That said, Zelda wins in the story department for me. Music. Zelda music is amazing. Song of Healing being my favorite, but Mario is outstanding. The spin-off titles that I already mentioned have great music, but the Galaxy games are absolute kings. At the end of the day, I prefer Mario. I get it 100%. For me personally, like, I've never, like, with all the Mario music I've heard, whether it be like the soundtracks I've heard from Odyssey or even like other, I haven't heard all the songs in Mario Galaxy, but I've heard a few of them. Like it's gonna be hard to like ever come close to like the Zelda series for me personally. Shimmering Bass. Comparing my favorite Mario games to my favorite Zelda games, it's a really tough one, but I'm going to give it to Zelda. My favorite Mario games, from least to favorite, are Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario World. Oh god, there's a full list. Shimmering Bass, what are you doing to me? Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, Luigi's Mansion, all three Paper Mario games. Not sure if this game counts. Yoshi's Island, DK Country, DK64. Is that a Mario game? I guess you said you're not sure if these games count. Well, we'll put them in there. My favorite Zelda games, Phantom Hourglass, Skyward Sword, Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and Breath of the Wild. In my comparisons, I'm considering the gameplay, music, themes, characters, lore, and art style as a whole. For example, the music as a whole is not individual songs. I think Zelda beats Mario. While every Mario game can rival Zelda games in at least one aspect, I think the Paper Mario games are the only ones that can rival Zelda in all aspects. If we limit to just Paper Mario games, I'm going to give it to Zelda because it's good across the board with more games, not just small sections of its games. I love both series equally, but I'm going to give it to Zelda. Yeah. That's a good list. That's a really good list. Have not played Yoshi's Island or any Donkey Kong games. I still have to play TTYD. It's funny because they put here, I think, that TTYD is better than Super Mario 64. Paper Mario 64. Paper Mario 64 is a perfect game. Like, it's like you guys are hyping up 1000 Year Door to the point that I hope that it could live up to the hype, and I think it could. I think it definitely could, because people talk about it as one of the greatest. But Paper Mario 64 is a perfect game to me. Steven Ryzen. Zelda. The Mario franchise does have a lot more variety, but it's the strongest at its platformers, which are not my favorite. Again, that makes perfect sense. Some people are not into platformers. For me personally, platformers are not the things I'm really good at. I love action-adventure games. I love RPG games. So that's kind of like what I kind of like gravitate to more towards the most. Paper Mario 64 is better than the 1000 Year Door. Oh, we know this name. I would have to say Mario. While it comes to the mainline games, both are good. That it's hard to really say, but Mario has so many quality spin-off series that it wins for me. But a lot of them seem to be dead right now. You gotta hope for that Switch comeback. The Switch is making every series come back. You gotta hope for it, man. Don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. Lewis Rockets. Cal, this is just cruel. Lewis, I know. I'm awful. The first games I ever played were Mario. My mom introduced me to the games. I go back to play Super Mario World and Yoshi's Island 7 times a year, but I have a strong connection with Zelda games. The exploration and storytelling is way more up my alley, and I just feel more invested in the characters. Both are gems, but there's something a little more special about going into adventures in Hyrule. But Mario Kart is also a thing. Cal, why? That's the thing, I forgot about Mario Kart, because, Mario Kart Wii is one of the greatest games of all time. And I know, it gets annoying because, people talk about Mario Kart Wii like it's the be-all and end-all, but, it truly is, the be-all and end-all in terms of racing games for me. It's my favorite racing game, I think, ever. Maybe apart from Crash Team Racing, maybe, but, even at that, I think Mario Kart Wii might beat it out. Thanks very much, Lewis. Scrawny Tony. While both are very fun on their own, I would have to say Zelda as a whole. I have more fun with Zelda as a whole. Again, these are both fun series. No need to really hate on either one of them. We just love the both of them. Tactical Pops, really cool profile picture. I would say Mario as it has been a large part of my childhood. My first Mario game was Mario 64, then it was Paper Mario 64. Oh, what a good game. Super Mario 64, Mario Kart Wii, New Super Mario Bros, and Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. But with Zelda, I only just started playing a year ago with The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and then I moved on to other 3D titles. Yeah, 100%, man. But what a great game to play when you're younger. Paper Mario 64. I would have killed for a game like that when I was a 4-year-old. I would have loved it. My first RPG I played, I think I was 7, maybe 8 when I played my first RPG. I would have killed for a game like that when I was younger. Really would. Dear Lions. I'll have to go with Mario for a few reasons. Keep in mind, it's mostly opinion, for sure. Mario has more great spin-off games, including Mario Kart, Mario Party, Mario Tennis, Mario Paint. The Mario series, more than Zelda, brought tons of new ideas and mechanics to the whole game industry. Whoa, Dermot, what are you doing here? Why? Ooh. Oh. I get it. I get it. Okay. No, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to kill you said it was opinions as well. The Zelda ROM hacking scene, while still very impressive, doesn't compare to the scale of the Mario hacking scene, with the standard of Kaizo hacks being released weekly with custom blocks, graphics, music, and the whole custom mechanics has thrived in the past few years due to Mario Maker being released. I like Zelda gameplay, but I just prefer platformers. Both these games are dear to my heart, but I prefer Mario. More importantly, why, Calvin? Who has hurt you to take these actions? Princess Peach, it hurt me to take these actions. I get what you're saying though in terms of mechanics. Like Mario is the daddy of platformers. It is I'm sorry, it is the king of platformers. Even though they're not my favorite platformers, the ones I played for sure. I think it's hard to deny that this series is so influential. I guess just for me personally with Zelda, it's so influential on a lot of the games I love. The one of the best examples that no one likes to talk about sometimes is that there wouldn't be a Dark Souls if it wasn't for Zelda. Let's just be honest. Dark Souls is one of my favorite series of all time, but it's just true, right? It's just the truth. There wouldn't be a Dark Souls. I'm still here. Hello, I'm still here. Skyward Sword, the best Zelda game, and Super Paper Mario, the best Mario game, are both games I had hold close to my heart. I just can't pick. Oh man, that's okay. You don't have to pick. I know this is gonna open up a whole floodgate of people just not picking, but it's more fun to pick for some people. I'm not gonna make you pick. I'm not gonna make you pick a series, especially since you picked the two correct choices when it comes to some games there, like Skyward Sword. Daniel Garcia, childhood is always a deciding factor in these cases, and in my case, it's Mario. Fantastic point. If you came to me and asked me do I prefer Final Fantasy X or Final Fantasy 12. Both games I played when I was younger, but Final Fantasy X was my first Final Fantasy game. Even though I still think it's the best Final Fantasy game I've ever played, I still think that would have somewhat of a deciding factor when it came to what games I decided are my favorite. Liam Hill. While I do really enjoy the kind of goofy general aesthetic of the Mario games and the Paper Mario, TTYD being one of my favorite games ever made, Zelda takes the cake by 1.5 miles. While with Zelda games, you can generally expect a pretty epic adventure, and art style and characters have taken so many different directions and yet still managed to keep me hooked and eagerly waiting for more. I also appreciate that each game features a different reincarnation of Link, most of the time, rather than, oh look, Mario's back. That said, I do love Bowser, the big old doofus. that's another thing we talked about earlier, the big adventure. Like, you can always have this massive adventure. And, like, I think there are adventures in Mario games for sure. But for me, like Zelda adventures are so special. From the start to the finish, to the middle points even. Every time you go to each area, it feels like a new adventure. I just love exploring in those games. I really do. Mystic Thoron. Even though I really love Zelda, and I have to choose Mario because of its variety of games. Its legacy for the video games as a whole, also because I have more experience with Mario since I grew growing up till now, and I played more Mario games than Zelda games. Not to downplay Zelda, but Mario has many elements that everyone can enjoy. Also has more of a variety of games for different types of gamers. I still love both, though, but I'm Team Mario. That's fine. Very diplomatic answers. I find that, like, I hope this is the case, but I find that the way I play games and the way I talk about games, the way I react to games is has attracted a bunch of people that are kind of like-minded. You guys are being very fair. Very, very fair, very nice. No one's being mean about any games. It's really cool. Really, really cool. Pat yourself on the back, guys. Conlin Crows. Oh man, don't do this to me. This is like asking a parent to choose a favorite child. That's a good comment. You can tell I haven't screened these comments before I came into this. That's a funny comment, though. Abdenor Aloha? Please correct me with the pronunciation. You probably did before, and I'm just being an idiot. Definitely Zelda. The only Mario game I liked more than a Zelda game is Paper Mario 64. So fucking good. I know that's weird. No, it's not weird. It's not weird. It's a perfect game. And before someone comes at me and says, Calvin, no game is perfect. How about go off and play your own perfect games and I'll still play my perfect games? How about that? Fair enough. Talk to you later, boys. John Kennett. If you had done this yesterday, I would have said Mario, but trying to play Super Mario 64 Chaos Edition, I now say Zelda. Well, that's I know, by the way, before people go like, that's not a good pick, I'm pretty sure this person is not like, is giving a very funny answer, and I totally see what you're saying. Even in the replies to this, they were like, it's a joke. Yeah, and it is a joke. I should play more ROM hacks, I think, is a lesson I'm learning today about, like, because I've heard twice someone talk about ROM hacks with the Mario series. I have not played the Mario series as on whole by itself, so I would definitely like to try that. Mike. I think I'm the wrong person to ask this, but you really want to know it's Zelda, hands down, and it's not even close. You're not the wrong person. I think that just my channel is a really good of Mario and Zelda. And like, so I'm going to get an audience reaction of like different proportions compared to different, like if you compared like to like other channels that do this type of stuff. Kelsey Kirsten. This is a difficult question for me. I grew up as a Nintendo kid and Mario and Zelda were at the forefront. As far as the favorite goes, I'm going to cheat a little bit. 2D games hands down go to Mario and 3D games go to Zelda. Kelsey's a cheater here, guys. Super Mario Bros. 3 on my old Game Boy got the majority of my attention on car rides and trips across the US. Ocarina of Time through Skyward Sword is what I choose when I'm at home. I'm going to allow this cheating. You're not disqualified, Kelsey. The reason I'm going to allow this is because this is actually like a pretty good workaround. Mostly because like I feel like they are very different in terms of like, you know, like the genre and like not only the genre but like how you play them. Because again, yeah, like for me, if you're asking me what I played on my PSP as a kid all the time, it was all the Tekken games. If you're asking me what I would play at home when I went home, it was like a bunch of like really fun like RPGs. So I can totally see what you're saying. New 121493255. Is that my phone number? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's not. I like both franchises, but as a whole, I'd say I like Zelda games more. I like Mario spin-offs more than the Zelda spin-offs, but I like the main Zelda games more than the Mario games. Again, like, Zelda's fucking awesome. Like, what else can I say? Wario Land Gold Pyramid. I have never played a Zelda game. The only small time I grew up with a strategy book for the Game Boy and Game Boy Color games, which I listed both helpful hints as well as Game Shark codes. Really cool. Link's Awakening was a game that had very detailed hints written out, and from what it said, it seemed very interesting. So sometime in the future when I learned emulation, I got the ROM, and tried it, yeah. And it felt so weird. I didn't get far at all. But yeah, never actually owned a Zelda game, so I'm going to go with Mario. See, we have such an opposite spectrum here. From earlier on, we had a person who never even played like who doesn't really play the Mario series and doesn't really like the Mario series that much, and then someone who like has never played a Zelda game. Really good variety here. Purple Dragon 19. Zelda, easily. Simple enough. Moodle. Zelda, I guess. I'm more of a Kirby fan anyway, so I don't have any strong opinion on these two franchises. That's also fair enough. It's completely fair, completely fair. Slayer Noob, definitely Zelda. Again, fair enough. Dale Taylor, I love both, but it's hands down Zelda. Yep. We're getting into that portion where I think we're seeing like that. I think we can say for sure that right now Zelda is winning, right? Like in terms of if it was a competition, but I don't see it as a competition. Leon. I think it's a whole lot like the Zelda series more, but there are certainly individual Mario games I like more. The Paper Mario series, the first three at least, is fantastic, and I'm willing to say I like Super Mario Odyssey more than Breath of the Wild. I still loved it though. Taken as a whole, with all its lores and games in mind, Zelda, for sure though. All of you guys are very diplomatic when it comes to this. You can tell that like it was a very tough question, like in general, because I feel like I'm asking people to choose between, donuts and ice cream, and it's like, yeah, I like donuts more, but ice cream's cool, Like ice cream's cool too. Annalise Kuhanin. Zelda, fight me. Where I think I have like old boxing gloves somewhere. I don't think your answer's wrong, but like I don't want to upset people. I'll have to fight somebody by the end of this. Lord of Fire. Oh, I'm a bigger fan of the Zelda franchise than I am Mario. I love the lore behind Zelda, and the whole action-adventure aspect greatly appeals to me. The Mario game series is good too, but not as engaging for me. If you're wondering why I took a breath there, it's because I forgot to breathe. But yeah, like I think there's something that like people like keep mentioning, and you mentioned here as well, Lord of Fire. It's the lore of the Zelda series. I feel like the lore is like, while sometimes it can feel kind of confusing, it's there. It's there, and like it impacts people and makes people feel good about the game, and like people actually want to actually freaking think about the game series. So like, yeah, for sure. Undefeatable King, Mario. Thanks. We're getting a lot of these simple answers, and I like them too. I like them equally. I like them just as much as the ones of people, elaborating as well. Neon Majora, Zelda by far. There we go. I love that. Right under each other. Undefeatable King, Neon Majora. Make friends, okay? Make friends. Ditchitu. Calvin, I can't believe you asked such a horrible question. I love both series for so many different reasons, but I have to give it to Zelda. It was one of the first series I have fond memories with when I started playing Twilight Princess. Didn't finish it for years. I was like 7 years old, but I will always remember it being the game that got me into the series. It has so much variety, and the fact that Nintendo can completely change the style of the games without losing the identity of the series really says something. As for Mario, I adore the 3D games, but just haven't played enough of the spin-offs to make a judgment on the series as a whole. I hope to get to the Mario and Luigi saga soon. I'm sorry for asking such a horrible question, first of all, but there's going to be more of these, and I'm going to make people choose. I think it was a fun thing to do, at least, and I think you guys like it as well. I know you guys hate it at the same time, but I think you guys liked it, because this was the most submitted answer ever, so I think there is definitely a tinge of people actually being very into this. Zelda, Twilight Princess being a game that got people into Zelda. Twilight Princess is the game that like solidified my love for Zelda. I can say that for sure. Hall Mad 4. Zelda, absolutely. I hate to admit it, but I'm absolutely awful at Mario, and honestly, I'm not a fan of platforming games in general, specifically the older ones. I still love Mario and its characters, though. Fair enough, 100% fair. There's genres I'm not into as well. That doesn't mean I hate them or anything. I'm just not very good at them. The Dark Umbreon, Mario. And that, is it? Is that it? Are we done today? We are done today. Wow. We actually got through it all. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much for submitting your questions or your answers to this question. This is actually a really fun video to do, and believe it or not, it almost feels like a day off sometimes because I'm just reading out comments. Like, it's nothing. It's really like, doesn't take too much effort even. It's just kind of like really fun to sit down and just like read through some comments instead of having to play a game sometimes. Even though I love playing a game, especially after like going through like a long dungeon or a long stretch in Zelda, I feel like it's good to sit down and just like relax for a bit and do a video like this. It is very relaxing and calming, and it's fun to just talk about stuff for a bit. So now I'm going to tell you guys my favorite out of the two. I think it's very important to talk about this. First of all, if you're talking like the Mario series that I've played so far, the Paper Mario series, Paper Mario 64 is a perfect game to me. It's a perfect game. Like, there's no hair out of place. There's nothing wrong with it. It does everything it's supposed to do. Every single world is really fun to go around. There's not one aspect of the game that's really bad at all. It's just really perfect to me. Super Paper Mario has a really emotional story and also some really fun gameplay as well. And you can get really overpowered in that game, which I like also. I played Mario Bros. U. Not very fun. Not very fun at all. I played 3D World. A fun game, but I wouldn't call it, like, superb or anything. The Zelda series, on the Zelda side of things, I like most of the Zelda games for the most part. But if you're looking at the other side of the coin though, like Paper Mario 64, I would like put that game in terms of like my rankings. If you ask me tomorrow which do I prefer, that or a few of the Zelda games, it would definitely go over a few of the Zelda games for sure. Maybe even a lot more. Who knows? I haven't even thought about it that much. But here's what we're going to say. I'm just going to say it outright which one is my favorite. My favorite is